They never told you this. But the moment everyone disappears from your life is the moment you become dangerous. Because what if the very thing you've been praying for, support, help, recognition, is the exact thing keeping you weak? And that's when it hits you. You're alone. No messages. No one checking on you. No one clapping when you win. No one catching you when you fall. Just silence. A cold, suffocating kind of silence. You start questioning everything. Was I not enough? Did I miss something? Why does everyone else seem to have a tribe, while I'm fighting wars no one even sees? You watch people rise with networks, connections, safety nets. And you're out here bleeding in the dark. No backup, no validation, no witness to your struggle. And the worst part? You begin to shrink. You hesitate. Because deep down, if you fail, there's no one to catch you. That kind of isolation doesn't just hurt, it rewires you. But here's the truth most people will never understand. That isolation? It's not a curse, it's a transfer of power. Machiavelli once observed something most people are too afraid to accept. Dependence is the first chain. The moment you rely on others for stability, approval, direction, you hand them a piece of your power. And they may not even realize they hold it, but you will. Every time you wait for permission, every time you hesitate because someone might disagree, every time your mood shifts based on how others treat you, that's not strength, that's quiet servitude. But when you have no one, no safety net, no emotional crutch, something brutal and beautiful begins to happen. You stop asking. You stop explaining, you stop waiting, you become decisive because you have to be. There's no committee to consult, no approval to seek, just you and the consequences. And in that space, a new identity is forged. One that doesn't bend easily, one that doesn't break under pressure, because it was built without support. Think about it. Who is harder to control? The one surrounded by comfort, or the one who survived without it? The one who needs reassurance, or the one who learned to operate in silence? This is Machiavelli's hidden law of power. The less you need, the less they can use against you. And suddenly, your loneliness doesn't feel like weakness anymore. It feels like independence. Now, layer in the wisdom of the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled an empire, still reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events, not your friends, not your family, not your circumstances, your mind. And when everything external is stripped away, you're forced to confront the only thing you truly own, yourself. Most people avoid that moment. They drown it in noise, in distractions, in people. But you didn't have that luxury. So you sat in the fire. You faced your thoughts without escape. You endured your emotions without anesthesia. And slowly, painfully, you learned control. Not control over the world, but control over your reactions, your impulses, your fears. Epictetus once lived as a slave, yet spoke like a king. Why? Because he understood something deeper than freedom of circumstance. He mastered freedom of self. And that kind of freedom, it doesn't require support. It requires discipline. Now think of the ancient stories. A man walks alone into the wilderness. No food, no comfort, no one to lean on. Just temptation, silence, and his own mind. And when he returns, he's not the same man. Or the prince who abandons luxury, family, status, to sit alone under a tree, confronting suffering itself. No audience, no applause, just truth. And from that isolation, he becomes something more. Not because he was supported, but because he was stripped. This is the pattern history whispers, but rarely explains. Isolation is initiation. It's the forge. And most people run from it, because it demands everything. But if you endure it, If you stop seeing yourself as abandoned and start seeing yourself as unchained, everything changes. You stop asking, "Why do I have no support?" and start asking, "What can I become without it?" You move differently. You think differently. You don't crumble under pressure because pressure is all you've known. You don't fear loss because you started with nothing. And slowly, the same world that overlooked you begins to feel your presence. Not because you begged for attention, but because you became undeniable. So no, having zero support isn't fair. It never was. But fairness was never the path to power. And maybe, just maybe, the reason no one stood beside you is because you were never meant to walk with the crowd. You were meant to become the one who doesn't need it. And that is a kind of power most people will never survive long enough to understand.